c'est le matin. Filtre de clavardage, meilleur message. Non. Je ne veux pas filtrer les commentaires. Je veux les limiter. Les limiter mes abonnés. Commentaires en direct. Ok. Vous devez m'abonner pour 5 minutes. Et bien. Okay. Salute, my English friends. I say, as my primary language is English. What's up? It's unbelievable. I just got promoted. My job is so fucking woke, you know that? How dare they promote a transgender? Oh my god. Them transgenders and their special privileges, man. J.K. Rowling must be crying in her grave. Oh, that poor queen. But no, it's fucking great. Why is my sink always fucking clogged? I gotta snake this shit. Problem is I do have snakes, but when I tried to snake the drain, it just wasn't working. But anyway. Welcome to the stream. And don't forget to subscribe. And then like and share. And, oh, yeah, 4 people watching. Oh, shit. So, I guess I can actually commence the subject, then. Yeah, I'm making my coffee. I gotta have morning coffee. Every fucking day. Morning coffee. But yeah, I got promoted at my job. The transphobes are crying in their graves. Well, not graves, they're all alive, unfortunately. Yeah, I never thought I would ever get here. But I signed my promotion offer on Thursday. And then today is my last day in my current role, and then tomorrow I start training, and then Saturday I officially move up the ladder. I'm gonna be a team lead. And it's just, if you had told me fucking 10 years ago, when I was constantly overdrafting my accounts, and I was struggling with my identity, and I was in and out of depression, and then, like, if you had told me at the time that 10 years from now I'd be a homeowner, I'd be a team lead, entry-level management, whatever, I would have laughed at you. In fact, I would have thought you were insulting me. My video, Why I'm a Socialist, pretty much goes into detail. I believe it's Why I'm a Socialist. Basically goes into detail what had happened over the last 5 or so years prior to me posting that video. And I view myself as someone who did what she had to do to survive up until that point. It's no longer survival for me. Like, I don't know. The way I got here was I busted my ass mostly out of fear. Every fucking day I was afraid of losing my job. Like, I would go into work, and today was my last day. Tomorrow would be my last day. Next fucking Thursday. Because it was every fucking time team leads had some issue with my performance. I either wasn't fast enough, or I was overstocking shelves, or I was doing too much of this or too much of that. Um, and over time it just started eating away at my mental health. Like, I was basically, it contributed to a lot of why I believed the things I do, that I think workers should just burn down this whole fucking system and usher in, um basically, we should be owning the means of production, because um like, if the alternative is that we're going to continue to live in, like, I'm sorry, but if we're gonna have like a democratic system of government, we cannot and should not have this level of fucking capitalism. I would love to live in a world where we're all basically just cooperating and doing what we need to survive. Um, but unfortunately, we don't live in that world, and rich fuckers are doing everything in their power to make sure it stays that way. So, who I am is not going to fucking change. I will always be the same person that I am and was, but I am going to now officially have authority. And um, I think the difficult part of all of this is going to know when is the right time. Because one of the things that scares the fuck out of me is having to let people go. Because I do consider termination to be, and this is such an exaggerated way of saying it. I don't, because, but from my perspective, I just could not find another job anyway. I couldn't get another job. I was stuck at my company. I couldn't find another job. So I ended up trapped there for a while. But then, so basically that made me feel like, okay, well, if I'm trapped here and I can't get another job, then that means if I lose this job, everything that I've built around me is just going to come crashing the fuck down. I'm going to be homeless on the streets with nobody to fucking get, or to fucking help me. And that scared the shit out of me. And I lived every day like it was the end. Like something's gonna happen and I'm out that door and I'm never coming back. But it's such a ridiculous way to phrase it. But I used to refer to termination as, as the capitalist death penalty. And if you think about it, it makes sense. If you get fired and you can't find another job, then you then you are just basically homeless, and anything that happens. And being that I'm a trans woman, um the chances of me being raped or murdered when I'm homeless, like, just explode out of, like, just, it gets crazy. Like, so you can understand from my mindset why I would consider termination to be the capitalist death penalty. But I also understand it needs to happen sometimes. Like, for example, if my coworkers are abusing the customers, like if they're treating the customers like shit, or if they're sexually harassing their employee or their coworkers, um, or they just won't come to work. Like you just won't come to work, and well, the work's got to get done. Like we gotta. Like if I don't get my work done, then I could get fired and everything. So I do. So there is that. There are certain circumstances where, and it's like, chances are, if you're not coming to work, then you don't even want to be there anyway. You know what I mean? Like, and when I say coming to work, I don't mean like you have an emergency and therefore you're out like for 5 days at an end. Like, that's enough to get fired from any job, honestly. But, like, I can understand, like, if you have COVID and you don't know how to use the Sedgwick system, then naturally speaking, like I should be a little bit more lenient when you come back. I can take away all your points, and then I can show you how to use the Sedgwick system so that we avoid the problem in the future. Because if you got COVID, I don't want you fucking coming in and getting me sick. So, like, but if you're just like, you're a new hire and you're constantly calling out and you're just like, I didn't feel like coming in today. I didn't feel like coming in today. It was too much work, so I needed a break. Like, then I would want to revisit whether or not you actually want to be there. And if you don't want to be there, then I'm not going to hold that against you. And I would like to know so I can take you off the schedule. This way you're not you because I found out that if you rack up 5 points and you're terminated for attendance, you cannot reapply for a month. Or no, not for a month, for 6 months. So in that situation, I would want to know if you no longer want your position so that I can take you off the schedule before you get to 5 points, so that if you change your mind, you can reapply, and then I can bring you back on. You know what I mean? So there is that, and technically speaking, that would count as a termination. But since I'm calling you and asking you if you just don't want the job anymore, can I offer it to somebody else? And you say yes, then rather than treating it like a termination, I would treat it like a resignation. Like you just don't want the position anymore. So, like you came in, you worked a couple days, you didn't like it, and you're gonna find something else. That's completely fine. In that case, like then you just let me know. I'll take you off the system, and that way you're not treated as a termination in the system and can no longer apply for 6 months. Um, the fact that I'm in that situation now where I have to be willing to let people go, um, it still doesn't make it easier to view terminations any differently than I currently do, because I still do view it as like the death penalty of capitalism, because and it's for that reason why it's like, okay, if it's a performance issue, then I think I would just rather give you endless chances. Like, this is your last warning, get everything done, and then 5 warnings later. Now, this time's your last warning. Now, get 5 times later. All right, I know I said that was your last warning, but this is for, like, I wouldn't have the heart in me to do it because that's just not who I am. If you spent any time on my channel watching my videos, you would see why that's the case. But I know that it's not my company. I don't own Walmart. I mean, I own stock because it's a benefit of being an employee, is you get Walmart shares every week. At least in New York. If you're not in New York, then it's every other week. But, like, I I just I don't know how I got here. Where the fuck is my coffee? I'll be right back. But yeah, like that's why I haven't really been active really making that many political videos. Because one, I've grown and evolved to realize politics is stage 4 terminal cancer. Like, there's just no fucking getting to people. If people want to vote for fascism, they're going to, because they'd rather not be able to feed their kids than acknowledge that a trans woman deserves to fucking exist. And not be criminalized for taking a fucking piss. So I just haven't been doing that much political content lately. I've been dancing, and I realized, frankly, I like gothic music way more than I like politics. Like, I shit you not. One of my, so three of my favorite content creators, sorry, I should say five. My five most favorite, like my five favorite political content creators that I currently still watch to this day are Happy Pancake, Legia Miller, Secular Talk, Vosh, and The Humanist Report. Fantastic. I would watch them. Um, but beyond that, like even watching them, like I don't sign on to YouTube that often to look for their videos. Like a couple times a week, and that may sound like a lot to you, but considering I was round the clock looking for political shit, um it was stage 4 terminal cancer for my fucking brain. I had to find something else. So so I started listening to around December last year. I think it was December. It was either December or November. I don't remember when. But I started listening to goth music. Now, if you also watched my show, you probably seen, what the fuck? I forgot to put water in there. Oh my god, Kiki, wake the fuck up. This is why I need coffee. How can I do my fucking job if I don't remember to put water in the fucking coffee maker? Anyway, so it was either November or December, but no. So in October, I started dressing alt again, or was that late September? I think that was late September, because my supervisor at the time said something really fucked up to me that sent me into another depressive moment in my life where I just didn't fucking care about dress code anymore, and I was just gonna, like, I didn't care about my job anymore either, so it was another time where I was ready to get fired, so I just started dressing alt and just being like, well, I'm gonna be fired anyway, so I'm not gonna give a fuck about dress code. If dressing in all black, wearing a choker and white face paint, black lipstick and eyeshadow, if that's gonna get me fired, well, what the fuck ever. I'll just collect unemployment. I'm done here. I quit. Silent quitting, because if I actually quit, then I'm not getting unemployment. So um everybody was calling me Dark Kiki. They were calling me goth and everything like that, and they weren't saying it to be me. My coworkers, I'm actually very well respected in my workplace. Like, everybody was rooting for me to get this promotion. Like, they were rooting for me. And then I got the promotion. Um so they weren't like doing it maliciously. But eventually I was just like, "You know what? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Who knows?" Cuz I'm a juggalette. I listen to Insane Clown Posse, I listen to Twisted. So I dressed the part. Like, juggalos also sometimes, not always, but sometimes also dress goth. So that was me. I shouldn't say dress goth, they dress alt. Alt is the fashion sense, goth is the subculture, the music genre. Um so After about a month or two, I got tired of being called goth because it wasn't me at the time. It was just I was dressing alt. Um, and I got curious. And of course, if you've watched The Gay Matriarchy or you've seen any of my other videos, you would know that that I'm massive fucking French nerd. I j'aime français avec toute mon âme. I love French with all my soul, even though I don't believe in the soul. I'm an atheist. So I went to Google and I was like, are there any French Gothic artists? Because I was always listening to French country. So I figured French Goth was a good starting point for this. So I started listening to Minuit Machine and her um, her partner, not partner as in romantic partner, but her music partner, Haunt. So Amandine Stywey and Helene de Theory, I think was de Thury. I'm butchering their fucking last names. Yeah, Helene and Amandine I can get easily, but Stywey, I'm sure it's not Stywey. It's French, so it's probably Stewie, which sounds like Stewie. I'm sorry, Helene. Please don't me detest. um, but I most of her songs are not in French, but there were some pieces that I found, such as from her Queendom album. You've got Cent Fois, Créature, and I think Mes Souvenirs. Although Mes Souvenirs might be another album of hers, or might be Haleen. But either way, initially Minuit Machine was a duo between Haleen and Amandine. And then they later split up and formed, and Haleen went with, started her own project called Haunt. And she's really fucking good. I really do recommend her songs. Uh, I would listen to Wild Angel, or Wild Animal, not Wild Angel. Wild Animal. Wild Angel is Martina McBride. Um, no, that's not it. Um, let's see. Oh, yeah. So since then, when I first listened to Minuit Machine and Haunt, I later progressed on to other artists. I moved on to, as soon as I went to my first goth night, I discovered Black Angel, who, like Sisters of Mercy, is gothic rock, as opposed to Amandine Stawey and Haleen de Thury, who are both dark wave. Although maybe since they're French, it would be considered cold wave. I don't know. But basically, I moved on from them to listening to Black Angel, who warmed me up to Sisters of Mercy. Because initially I didn't listen to Sisters of Mercy. I didn't think it really fit the style of music I was looking for. Like, there was just something about dark wave that had me hooked. And Black Angel, who is not dark wave, they're actually gothic rock. Um, they warmed me up to gothic rock. So I went from listening to only dark wave to now I have a attractive number of tracks by Sisters of Mercy. I've got fucking Vision Thing, Dr. Jeep. I've got fucking More. And I need all the love that I can get to. And I need all the love I can get. I fucking love Sisters of Mercy. Um so I officially went from being like, why is everybody calling me goth? I'm just dressing alt. I'm a juggalette, you know? Like, I went from that to, you know what? I guess I'm goth. Fuck it. So, because I didn't initially call myself goth because I wanted to be respectful of the subculture. I know that goths, generally speaking, did not care whether or not people dressed alt. Um, but I also didn't want to be viewed as a poser. So I didn't want to call myself something I wasn't, because I knew goth wasn't a fashion statement. It was a music-based subculture. Um, and I respected that. I had respect for goths. I knew that they were not treated the best in the 80s and 90s. Like they were. I've been listening to Angela Benedict and listening to her story about growing up as a goth in the 90s. I think she said she came of age in the 90s and was goth when she was 15. So I've been listening to her videos and learning a lot about goth from her, and a lot of the maltreatment that they received back in the day, and it was quite heartbreaking. And I immediately started relating to her because, despite the fact that I was respected at work, I saw it once where a group of kids shouted, "She's emo, let's beat her ass." Mind you, these were like 12, 13-year olds. So my 32-year-old ass turned around and looked at them and gave them the "I hope you fucking try" face. And they just kept walking. And they're like, "What the fuck you looking at?" And I'm like, "Keep walking and you ain't gonna find out." So they went their way. I went my way. And that was the last time I dealt with that shit. But since then, I've been basically treated like, even though I ain't got no big tits, I've been treated like a big titty goth chick, and so it's like, I get where she's coming from. Lots of people want to call her an elitist, but she's not a fucking elitist. Like, I'm just gonna say that straight up. She's not a fucking elitist. I'm seeing the same shit she is. And as someone who's trans, who gets a lot of the same treatment for being trans, I sympathize. Because now that I'm not just trans, but also goth, that puts an additional fucking target on my back. Because now I gotta worry about being fucking persecuted or sexually assaulted or harassed for the fucking music I listen to. Not just how I dress, or not just my identity, not just the fact that I'm trans, but also the fucking music I listen to. Now I gotta worry about a double fucking, like sincerely Kiki to the world. Y'all need to grow the fuck up. Y'all need to grow the fuck up. What some music someone listens to should not dictate whether or not they be physically, sexually, or whatever assaulted. Same thing with being trans. Being trans should not be a prison sentence for using the fucking bathroom. Being trans should not be like, it's just a fucking joke. Society, grow up. But anyway, we're coming up on 30 minutes. I think I'm gonna cut the stream right here. So, thank you for watching, and I love you all, and thank you for being here with my journey. I went from oh, my cat just threw up. That's lovely. I went from having 90 something followers to now I'm over 134. Although I wouldn't be. Oh my God, Felix. Oh, poor puppy. I gotta clean up 2 messes now because that was the second time. I need to get him to the vet. But anyway, so I don't know. Maybe I'm at more than 134 now. But thank you for following me through this journey, this moment of growth in my life, and I love you all. I think you all are just the best people ever, and sincerely, I do hope I do hope things are good for you, and if they're not good, I hope they get better for you soon. Love you.